Hello BC, Steve here again from sunny England. The weather's not bad actually, the skies are blue but it's a bit nippy. Got a few more records to show you today, and I must warn you to start with, not all of them are going to be heavy metal. And what's going to make it interesting as well is a couple of them I've never heard of. So if you know who they are, please comment below. But the first one is it's a comp album. And the reason why I picked it up, I've been after this album for years. This is the best condition I've ever seen it in. And this is this one. Now, if you might notice, it's on the K-Tel label. Sorry, it's mirrored. Yeah, it's on the K-Tel label. And what these albums were, is in the 80s, which this one is 1980, you used to go to the supermarket, and when you did all your food, these used to be in a rack on the end of the food, and this is how they used to sell music in the day. Now when you go to supermarkets you get like DVDs and CDs, but in them days, and it shows you how old I am, back in 1980 them things hadn't been invented yet. And this album is very important to me because it's one of the very first albums I ever owned. And I was really emotional and shocked to pick this one up today. I'm going to show you the track listing, and it still counts as a heavy metal album because it's got a Judas Priest track on, Living After Midnight. So I think Greg will agree with me, it's definitely classed as a heavy metal album on a technicality. But it's got some brilliant bands at the time. Bad Manners was a good one, they were a ska band. And you got Saigon and Matchbox, and another good band is track 10 is Sad Cafe. Now I've never shown any of them albums, but I'm a massive fan of that band, and I've got about 6 or 7 of their albums at home. But it's also got Call of the Captain. That was B.A. Robertson. That was another good guy, he was good. And you notice you got All Night Long by Rainbow and Fall for Your Lovin'. All Night Long by Rainbow, and No Self Control by Peter Gabriel. It's a pretty good album when you look at the track listing, and it's got pictures, but it just brought it all back for me. But because I've seen these before, and the condition's absolutely appalling. And I got this one today, and it only cost £2, and I was really made up with it. But let's go on to some more heavy metal now, and I'm really made up today. Guess what I've got? The 12-inch version of The Real Me. This is on black vinyl, but it's got a massive poster on. And I was really shocked to pick this up, especially for another £2. Really good pickup. It's not on the blue vinyl like the 7-inch, but this little baby's on the 12-inch, is on the black vinyl, and it's got a poster. I might take it out and frame the poster, I don't know yet. But it was a really good find. And you've got the track listing there, The Real Me, and Lake of Fools, and War Cry. But that was another today's pickups, which I was really pleased with. Another Wasp one is Forever Free. That album was off, Forever Free was off Headless Children. Sorry, I had a brain freeze then. Headless Children, and you got a special autograph disc which I haven't pulled out. Again, it's live at the Hammersmith Odeon, and I haven't pulled this out because I don't want to damage anything. But what made it for me is you got Love Machine live and Blinding Texas live. And I bet you pound to a penny that's at the Lyceum again. This got a great picture of the band on, and again it was really nice pickup. I'll have to get it out and investigate it more, but I'm chuffed with it. Another cheap pickup was this album. Everybody knows this album, so I shan't talk about it. But it only cost me a couple of quid. The outer cover's not, well, it's in good shape, but the actual vinyl's in pristine. I can't wait to reacquaint myself with that album. Another band I picked up was this. I've never had this album before, but I know that all I know about it is the band's American. So if you know anything about it, please hit me up below. But that's a picture of the back, and that's the track listing. And you'll notice as well it came from our price. It's got another one of their stickers on. And back in the day, it would have set you back £6.99. But that was another good pickup. Another pickup is a Northern Ireland band from Fermanagh, or I should be able to pronounce that because my late uncle was from Northern Ireland. Mama's Boys. This is a 4-piece, and you had John McManus and Pat McManus, Keith Morrell and Tommy McManus. If you ever always be on the lookout for this band. I showed you one of their flexi discs. This is a great band. This is the second record I own of theirs. But it's just a great pickup. Mama's Boys, a good thing. Now, I must admit, I thought of Cloudy and Greg the Egg, better known as Blackmore Rules, when I picked up the next two albums. The next few albums, because, well, you'll see why, Greg. I've got this album, Tigers of Patang Yang. This is The Wreckage, featuring John DeVille on lead harmony, Steve Lamb on lead guitar, Neil Shepherd, David Donaldson and Brian Dick. On guest musicians you had Steve Thompson, Ian Curnew and Graham Lee. And it's another great pickup from another great band, and I couldn't leave this in the record store. That's the track listing there, and it's just a great pickup, and I like that picture as well. But I also got a Tigers 12-inch, and that's this one, Making Tracks, Tigers of Patang Yang, again, Patang. And Making Tracks is the album, and it's just got that picture of the band there, and that was another great pickup I got up today as well. But now the next two albums I've never ever heard of, so I need help. If you know who they are, can you please hit me up down on the comments below. The first one I'll do is this band. It's a band by Samurai Grand Prix. I think I heard a bit of it. I might be wrong, but AOR I would say, or I was thinking Toto, that sort of late 70s. I might be wrong. That late 70s, early 80s sort of prolonged chord stuff. But it's a lovely cover. It didn't cost me very much, and that was a pickup as well. So if you've got any information on the band, hit me up below. But there it is. Sorry about the glare. But there it is. It's Grand Prix Samurai. Now the next album's on Music for Nations, but I've never heard of it. So Cloudy, if you're paying attention, buddy, I think you're the one who should know this one. It's called Steal the Flight Q5. And as you can see, I won't point, I always get it wrong because it's mirrored. It's on Music for Nations. I heard a bit of this morning, and it was incredibly rocky. The sort of record you expect to find on this label. And you can see the track list in there. So yeah, it's just, and also it's just got a cracking cover as well. So what I paid for it's only a couple of quid. You can't go wrong with it. Looks like a spaceship, but it's just, you know, like some sort of a sky aircraft carrier or something. But this is one for Greg the Egg now, or better known as Blackmore Rules. If you haven't checked his channel out, I suggest you check it out. It must be the craziest channel on the VC, but he shows some fantastic music. And Greg mentioned this. I bought this album. The only reason why I bought it, it's got a killer cover, but it's got a Fastway. Now I remember I've seen Fastway albums before, the checkered album he held up, but I've never seen this album. I know it's a film, and I know Ozzy Osbourne was in it, and I think I may have seen it, but it's escaped my memory. But I hope Greg might know something about it. But I mean, for what I pay for it, it's got a killer cover on. It's just amazing. But the film was called Trick or Treat, and here's the reverse side of it. I'll just show you the track listing. Sorry about this. Everything, that's it. It's all mirrored, and that's what's confusing me. I keep going the opposite way. But there's the track listing anyway. But yeah, I've never heard it. I think I may have seen the film, but I've never heard or can't remember the soundtrack. Now, I had Greg, I had you in mind again. I picked this up, Dokken, Breaking the Chains. This is a cracking album. If you haven't discovered Dokken yet, please do. It's still sealed in the wrap, which I will take off when I get home. And here's the track listing on the back. I hope you can see that okay. And yeah, you got all that on the top and that on the bottom. and you got Paris is Burning live. Greg's been showing a lot of Dokken albums lately, so I thought I'd add this one as well. But I only paid, I think it was a couple of quid for it as well, so there you go. But apologies for the glare. And oh yeah, well, not my last album, but I also picked this baby up. I already own a copy of this, but you know my relationship with Sabotage, and there's no way on this planet Earth am I leaving a Sabotage album in a record store, steel sealed with a cover like that, and you know, it's just not going to happen with me. If you've seen my videos before, you know it's not going to happen in a million years. So I had to nab this one. I'm sorry about the blur, but there you go, a nice Sabotage album. Now, another album I want to show. I wasn't going to show it, I'm going to show it. And before people start moaning and hit me up with comments, it's not a heavy metal. I warn you now, it's not heavy metal. If you finish with this film, you can switch off now. But if you're curious, keep watching. I'll tell you the story. Basically, in England, we had two bands. We had Oasis and Blur. Now, Oasis were a Manchester band, the Gallagher brothers, and they basically formed a band, called it Oasis, got sued because Oasis was a clothing company, and they had to pay 100,000 quid so they're allowed to use it. Now, Liam Gallagher, some people like him, some people don't like him. I know Metal Mickey's talked about him on his channel, but the real brains behind it all was Noel Gallagher, the brother. He was a songwriter. Excuse me, I'm going to need a slurp. This is not Posh's Pop or what's it called, soda pop as Aaron drinks. This is just the generic English stuff. It's not very nice, but it quenches the thirst. There's to you, VC. I'm drinking to you. No, I feel inadequate when Aaron gets his bottles out, and you can see my stuff. It's about 30p a bottle or something, which is what, about 50 cents. It tastes like it as well. But no, I digress. I'll carry on. So basically, we had Oasis. On the other side of the coin, we had a band called Blur. Now, me being born 20 miles sort of the other side of London, had a more vested interest in that band. The lead singer was a guy called Damon Albarn, and Blur had some great songs. Park Life, I believe, was one. And anyway, the press started a fight between the two bands, and it was all probably the record companies or the press. It was a bit like the Beatles and the Stones, that sort of stuff, and who's the best, and it went on for years. And basically there were so-called spats. Again, I think it was all made up by the newspaper and that. And basically Blur sort of slowed down, but Oasis kept going. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this, and you're thinking, well, has the Zulu gone nuts? Well, he hasn't gone nuts, he's been nuts all his life. The reason why I'm telling you all this, I bought myself a little present this morning. Now, Damon Albarn, after he left Blur, formed a band called Gorillaz, and I love that band. Gorillaz wasn't human, they were cartoon characters. Are you with me? Good. But keep listening, I'll finish in a minute. Gorillaz were a band made up of cartoon characters, and what they did was, when he recorded an album, they had guest artists, and they basically did the singing, and you had a cartoon. And guess what I picked up today? And this is the only album, I haven't got in my collection. This is Gorillaz Plastic Beach. Now, this, as you may know, is brand new. What happened was, if you look at the corner of the album, it's been damaged. Again, if you see my previous videos, you know I'm not really bothered about a slightly damaged cover. And it was discounted heavily. I picked up this I'm not going to say what I paid for it, but I picked up this album, and it was about 4 weeks ago. It was far too expensive, but I got this copy cheap. And this is a cracking album, it really is. They're obviously talking about the environment, and I'll show you the track listing of it. If you haven't checked out Gorillaz, please check them out. They had the guy out of Black, Shaun Ryder, out. Whether he sings on this one, I can't remember. But they had the one out of Black Grapes, Sean Ryder. He did a song. It could be even on this one. I haven't heard it for so long that I've forgotten some of the music. But I'm sure he may have done something on it. Or it may have been the one before. But it's just a great album. And when I was talking about the cartoon characters, there's a picture of them at the back. And it was basically Damon Albarn. He did a lot of singing. And he became one of the characters, and it was just a sort of the band was just sort of really state of the art. They actually did a world tour, and they had all these screens where you can actually see the band and they're in cartoon. But Gorillaz is certainly a great album. I've got them all on CD apart from one, but I really wanted this album, and I've picked it up. Anyway, VC, thanks for putting up with me again. I've got a few more to show, but I'll leave them to a next time. Plus the fact I want to research a couple of them as well. I just want to thank all my 36 subscribers, and there is a record fair in Reading on Sunday. Whether I go or not, I don't know, but I think I shall be heading up there this Sunday. But peace and good luck, love to everybody, and hopefully I'm going home next week anyway. And I can't do these. I know there's a lot of competitions floating around, but it's a bit difficult for me because, as you know, my regular viewers know, I'm not at home at the moment. I'm looking after my auntie who's got Alzheimer's, and she's 82, and I'm staying at her house down south. I don't live down here. I live in the other side of Birmingham, and my record collection is down there. And it's a lot easier for me to pick up. Obviously, not having my record collection's 150 miles away. It's hard to pick out some of the records you need to enter these contests. So while I'm down south, I can't. But when I'm back home, I will make up for it and enter all the contests. Anyway, please spread the love, VC. And this is Steve, Headbanging Zulu, wishing you all have a great weekend. As I say, weekend, and spread the love. Bye.